Welcome back to Good Things Utah. You know this person sitting next to me on the couch. Lisa Bergantz has been part of Good Things Utah here for about 4 years. She has a blog about teaching your kids to love science and math. Well, now she's doing a different blog. I mean, still doing that one, but this is about beating cancer. And this is something that we've been following and thinking about you all summer long. Tell us about the decision you made this last summer.
Well, when I was in 8th grade, my parents sat us down on the couch and they told us that Mom had breast cancer. And that was the first time she had cancer. She had it 4 times ultimately. And my mom was tested for the BRCA2 gene. I found out about that about 5 years ago. And from research, I knew that a preventative mastectomy and preventative surgeries were the way that I could reduce my risk most significantly. My risk is about close to 90% of getting breast cancer.
Which is very high.
Over and over and over. So after,
and scary.
Oh, totally. And after seeing my mom go through it, I knew that I wanted to be here for my family, for my kids, for my husband, and I was going to do whatever it took to not get cancer, hopefully.
Well, I should also introduce the 2 doctors that are sitting here with us, too, that you know very well. This is Dr. Rob Ferguson, plastic surgeon, also Dr. Reading here. This is what Angelina Jolie did, correct, earlier this summer?
Yeah, it's very similar. She had a prophylactic mastectomy and reconstruction afterwards.
Did you get a lot of questions after she brought this to light and it was everywhere in the media?
No, absolutely, lots of questions, particularly about options of what reconstruction is available for me after a prophylactic mastectomy.
And there are several different options. There's not just one.
No, there's not just one. A lot of it's going to depend upon what the woman's goal is, her overall medical condition, her body shape. And so we'll go through all the different options and decide what is best for her.
Dr. Reading, how many women have this gene?
It's really not that many women overall. It's a small percentage of the population, but the gene has so many big implications for the patient that it's important, if you are at risk for having that gene mutation, that you get tested. So not everyone should be tested.
Is it genetic? Lisa's mom had cancer, so are you more likely to have the gene?
This gene is, yes. So the inheritance of this gene, it definitely comes through your family. So if you have a big family history of breast cancer, or you know if someone in your family already has the gene, you should be tested.
But Lisa, your sisters did not have it.
Right, yeah. So each child has a 50% chance of getting it or not. And I was the child who has the gene. But that's okay, because I'm grateful that I know about this gene and I could take steps. If I didn't know about the gene and I eventually got breast cancer and then I had to go through everything and then I found out that I had the gene, I'm just grateful to know ahead of time, really.
I like to call you Super Mom here on the set, because always talking about how to help your kids, how to get them interested in learning. How did you talk to them about this and your decision?
It's funny. I've been talking a lot about it these past years and kind of like talking like this, you know, hand gestures. My kids are like kind of, I don't know, almost like it's difficult to keep it in wraps when you're going through the whole process, but you just have to, you know, hug them, tell them it's going to be okay. I'm doing this to make sure that I'm going to be here for you. They've been a little frightened. It's hard not to be, I think, for children that young to think that maybe mom's not going to be here hearing about cancer, but you just try to tell them, I'm doing this so that I will be here for you.
Even when you know you have that gene, is the decision still tough to make to have the surgery?
It is scary what you don't know. It wasn't that hard to make the decision. It was, the day of my surgery, going in to see Dr. Reading first, I was like, I'm just gonna put one foot in front of the other. Up to that day, it was okay, but right when you're doing it, you just think, I've made my decision, I know this is gonna be the best decision for me, and you just do it.
Dr. Reading, what do you tell women?
Well, when women come in to talk about this as an option, I really try to impress upon them that it really is the best way to reduce your overall risk for breast cancer. And when you have such a high lifetime risk for breast cancer, it's a really good option. Now, not everybody does pick that option because it's scary. Your breasts don't have anything wrong with them at the time, and you're making this choice to have this big operation and have all this recovery time. So it's a hard decision to make for a lot of women. When people know they have this gene mutation, they can get screened. So you get screened more closely every 6 months. So some people choose that route, and that is another way to be careful about it. But the best way to reduce your risk of not ever having cancer is to have the surgery.
The choice that Lisa made. Dr.
Yes.
Ferguson, there is hope too for women facing this surgery thinking they're losing their identity, their sense of self. That's where you come in.
It is, and I talk with many women as far as some will say, I didn't think I was this vain, and we talk about, really it's not a vanity issue. There are so many issues that are associated with the loss of a breast, whether it's cancer or preventive, that have nothing to do with vanity, but a lot of psychosocial, as well as the ability to move on, to fully recover from what they've gone through.
Well, we love you here on the show.
You're so great.
And we're glad you're doing great. If you want more information about this, go to our website, forutah.com. Glenn, over to you.